The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Mitchell, and welcome to Dawn of Sports. This week, we have an awesome guest, quite frankly, one of my dearest friends, and it's just such an apropos time to talk basketball, also to talk about just what a strong, powerful woman she is, an entrepreneur, a sports fan. So we have a lot coming up with Nadine Babu in just a few minutes.
That's right. This is Dawn of Sports. Great to have Nadine on. You've probably heard her on this network before and other guises. It's going to be fun to hear what she's up to these days. I want to let you know we're coming from the Aquarius Home Services Studio. Alex Hagen is our producer today. Best way to listen to this show or any show you like at talknorth.com. And we have quite the celebrity-studded list these days. So please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's easy. It's the easiest way to listen. We would appreciate it. Thanks to our sponsors, including Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood, Natrium, Aquarius Home Services, and Minnesota Masonic Charities. Back to you, Dawn.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Well, no further ado to bring in our guest this week that's no stranger to this airwaves at all. Nadine Babu. Nadine is such a good friend of mine. We actually bonded over basketball eons ago. I think it was NCAAs, and just one of the smartest, most independent, and just wonderful people that I know in my life. So Nadine, thanks for coming on tonight.
Wow, thank you for the beautiful intro. I feel like I need to just take off while everyone's thinking so highly of me, so I can't mess anything up.
It's time that people get their flowers. That's what I say. You work so hard for so long. Everyone deserves to be recognized and given their flowers and know what people think of them. So,
well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And obviously the feeling's mutual. Love being on with you and Jim. Regardless of what anyone anyone says about Jim, I love his columns. I think he has great insight. And little known fact, he's even nicer in person.
Absolutely. See,
Don't
Jim.
tell people that.
Oh, sorry.
Well, many people, let's back up a little bit. Many people will go online and they see Gopherhole.com and don't realize, Nadine, that you are a co-owner, one of the founders, and yes, an undeniable Gopher fan of any sport for the school, whether it's basketball and you host tailgates and give all the money to charity, or whether it's basketball, football. We're still trying to get you into hockey a little bit, but Gopherhole.com is just amazing. How did you come up with that concept, and how long have you guys been doing it now?
Well, thank you. I actually did not start the website. My co-owner and I that have it now, I actually have to literally look at my LinkedIn, but I think it's been about 20 years. But the founder of it was in 1996. He literally read a book that was called Websites for Dummies. He started it up. He wanted a place where Gopher fans could congregate, who could talk about everything. Because I think, with the Star Tribune and with the Pioneer Press and with everything else, people are given, short amounts of information, and they have character lengths. And obviously now things are a little different with things being online, but we wanted to give fans everything. So when we go to a press conference, we post just about every quote. We don't just pull out the one quote. We're giving all the super fans all the information, plus a great message board to be able to talk to other fans. I mean, if it's the ticket exchange board, if it's finding out where to park, if it's just talking about the latest recruit, we just wanted that community to build and have, and it has, and we have a great amount of people, a great board. And we actually just expanded to do a Timberwolves board too, just because obviously there's a lot of interest there and no one had been doing that.
Oh, wow. It's hard to believe that, right? That's an untapped resource right there, especially for the Timberwolves nowadays.
Right. Like I actually had Googled it because I never want to step on anyone's toes. And I put in Timberwolves message board, and Gopherhole was the first thing that came up. And that was just like on our off sports board that we have where people can talk about anything. And there was a lot of interest. And the rest of it, it was like there's Reddit, of course, but there was nothing local except for, comments on articles. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's get Timberwolves fans over to Gopherhole because let's be honest, Minnesota fans overlap in almost every sport. So you may as well just have the community that you love to talk about Gophers with and talk about another sport too.
Well, before we get to Timberwolves, I want to back up a little bit. Niko Medved, now the new head coach of the Gophers basketball team. You know him. You go back a long way when he was an assistant. And when he was announced, it was so awesome to see like his family kind of embrace you. And, it was kind of like a homecoming for you. Just how excited are you? And for people that may not know him, if they've just moved to the Twin Cities, what can you say that you're most excited about what he brings to the Gophers?
Oh gosh, how long do we have to talk?
Right.
Yes, I've known Niko about 20 years now, and he was the grad assistant. He wasn't even an assistant coach under Munson. And due to Munson getting fired, and then another one of the coaches getting fired, Jim Molinari moved him up to assistant coach. And obviously he's had an incredible track record since then. So what people are getting with Niko is you're getting that great Minnesota person. We always love the one of us. But what they don't probably know is they are getting that fierce competitor. I mean, this guy is, I literally say he's the Mr. Rogers of basketball. He knows so much, but he is so kind. But my goodness, he turns teams around. I mean, he had a vision. He's learned under the best too. I mean, he had the opportunities. After he was here, he had, a lot of different opportunities. He was a head coach at Furman. He was an assistant at Colorado State. And he actually chose to stay at Colorado State under Tim Miles. Even when Tim Miles went to Nebraska, he stayed under Larry Eustace. And he just kind of learned from all these excellent coaches. So then when he was on his own at Furman and Drake and Colorado State, he was able to turn every single program he's been at around. He's always been a clean coach. Not that that really matters in this NIL day and age, but he just has the utmost character. His wife is, I hope that the Twin Cities get to know her because she's absolutely beautiful and wonderful, but she is the most down to earth, great mom, really smart. Like Niko is not Niko Medved without Erica Medved. It's absolutely true that a woman behind the scenes is making that man better. And Erica is just that case. So he was my dream coach, my realistic dream coach. Like obviously you and I love Bill Self, there's
Right, yes, we do.
They're John Beeline. There are all these great coaches, but I'm saying from like who realistically would love this job, that wants this job, that would be here for a long time. Like he was my dream coach after I knew the Flip boat had passed and I knew the Tim Miles boat had passed. So Niko's been it for a long time now for me.
For people who are listening, like, where did this Bill Self boomerang come from? So I'm going to explain it a little bit. When Nadine and I first got to know each other, so I covered Bill Self and I knew him when he was in Illinois. And I was like, wow, he's just a gentleman. He had like this little Southern lilt and he's just a great coach. And I just really enjoyed covering him and thought he was a nice person. I loved his family. And then when I got here and I got to know Nadine a little bit, and when I watch a sport, there's very few people I can watch it on my off time with because there's many civilians that just want to talk through a game. And I call people civilians that don't work in sports. And it's almost like I just can't. Like you have to know like when to chat a little bit and when to stop, right? So that you can pay attention. And Nadine just got me. It's like, yeah, we could chat. All of a sudden we're stopping, we're playing and we're watching. And then when she said, oh my gosh, Bill Self, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? And she's like, right? It was one of those bonding moments. So it's not like that's just a name like coming out of nowhere. But that's also how we started becoming really good friends. I mean, we knew each other beforehand, but when you invited me over to watch some of the March Madness basketball games, I knew that you weren't a civilian. It was the best.
I mean, you know that you probably knew that I was a psycho because everyone's going to the bar and parties. And I'm like, I can have like one person over, because we need to watch the game and focus on the games. And we need to monitor which game we need to switch to. And yes, March Madness was our first friend date, first of, gosh, probably hundreds now.
Exactly. And it's not limited to just basketball. You forever have been a staunch supporter of Gopher football as well. And you have these prolific tailgates that I think I got to attend a half of one once because I was actually covering it for TV. Someday, even Mim Davies, our GM, said you need to take a day off, Dawn, and actually go to when she has one and enjoy one as a person. Can I just ask you, for everyone that's listening, how did you get so involved in covering sports, especially Gophers?
Yeah, I think it was really because of Gopherhole. So first of all, my love for sports was from a young age, especially college basketball. I remember hiding in the kitchen. We had probably like a 4-inch TV. And I would watch, ESPN and watch Duke and watch Michigan. And I was supposed to be doing my homework. And my dad would come in and I'd quick turn the TV off. And my dad wasn't as sharp as, well, he was English PhD, but not as astute as other parents to like feel the TV to see if it was warm. So I was good on that. But so I just loved it. Then I came to the University of Minnesota. And, they had this Final Four run. And I mean, I'm a college basketball girl, so what a great fit for a school. And then it was when I was graduated and started doing my MBA that the barnyard at the University of Minnesota had kind of depleted. And I looked at it when I was a student and it was crazy. I mean, people were so passionate and we're like, we want to give that experience to other people. So we were the first year starting the Barnyard student section where we were like, okay, we're reserving these seats. We are going to sell tickets. We're going to get posters. We actually partnered with Coach Munson to give to his foundation, or what his charity was, CCRF, Children's Cancer Research Fund. We did like a silent auction at the barn. We raised thousands. We partnered with the Golden Dunkers, which is the booster club, which, the students and the boosters had never partnered. And then I did that for a few years and that just kind of ran its course. And I remember after Munson got fired, I knew Rob Litt, who is my co-owner at Gopherhole. And he actually wanted me to set up some interviews with the new assistant coaches for Gopherhole. I'd never done an interview in my life. And I was like, do you want me to set them up or do them? And he's like, oh, can you do them? So this is where it comes full circle again. And I can't remember if it was Nico or Brent first, but I'm pretty sure it was Nico. Was my first interview ever because he was one of the new assistants and Brent Lawson. So it was absolutely insane that, here we are years later and he's our head coach, and just slowly but surely got more into it because I was like, this is so fun. I love knowing more. Like I love being able to go to the press conference and instead of complaining about a coach and being like, why do they do this? Because like, obviously you're not Chris Finch, you're not Ben Johnson, you're not Nico Medved without being a really good coach. And I love being able to go to the press conference and ask the question and then like, why did you do this? Why did you not foul here? Why did you do this? And it's like, and then you see how much thought goes into it. So you have, as you say, the civilians that kind of have no clue. And you're like, if you actually stopped and talked to these guys or asked or like listened to our post-game press conference notes, you'd understand the reasoning behind. And I'm very interested in that process.
It's like picking their brain as much as you can in the time allotted,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's fast forward. I was so excited just the past couple of years when you actually started covering Timberwolves as well, and I just love NBA basketball. I always have for years, being raised out east on Celtics and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and Chief. The big three. I've always been an NBA fan, and then I see that you're kind of fully engulfed as well. I know the college game first had your heart, and now the Timberwolves, and what a fun couple of years, especially so. But coming off this game, where Anthony Edwards had 43 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block. I mean, he keeps on going. And he's not the only one. We just love this team. Having a 3-1 lead over the Lakers, who, any team, even if, like the kindergarten team around the corner from my house, even if they beat the Lakers, even in a charity thing, I'd be so excited. Just what a fun ride it's been.
Oh, I can't believe it. And I feel like people haven't fully appreciated this season because I think they were victims of their own success. They set the bar higher and higher. Like, think about, 4 years ago when Pat Bev, jumped on the table and they did the play-in game. And that was so huge. And it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to the playoffs. And it was so exciting. And then, last year we were at the top of the league, the whole time, and people were so excited and so into it. And this year they just started off slower. And if you could go back to everyone in October, November, that was like, forget this team. I'm giving up. This is ridiculous. They should have never traded Cat. They shouldn't have done anything. Like, once again, this is like, okay, let's zone into the people actually know what they're doing. Let's assume Tim Conley has built some monsters, and let's say that he actually knows better than Joe from Coon Rapids how to build an NBA team and, stay the course. And guess what? They finished so strong. They had so many injuries, which got the depth of the team, and these younger guys developed. Now we're all healthy. They're clicking at the right time. I don't want to click in December. I don't know about you, but I would rather be clicking right now, and that's exactly what they're doing.
I want to thank the sponsors who make this podcast possible, made the network a success. Let's start with great Minnesota company we've been working with for a while now, Minnesota Masonic Charities.
When people think of the Freemasons, they often think of secret handshakes and unusual hats, and of course, the pancake breakfast. Minnesota Masonic Charities would prefer that you think about the work that they do right here in our community. Places like the Masonic Cancer Center at the University of Minnesota, or the Masonic Children's Hospital and the Masonic Home in Bloomington. They are just a few examples of the important work that the Freemasons support here in Minnesota. As part of the largest fraternal organization in the world, Masons have consistently answered the call when it comes to charitable needs. I am happy that Minnesota Masonic Charities has chosen Minnesota Bound and this podcast as a place to help spread the word. We look forward to learning so much more about their many programs here in the weeks to come.
And I saved the ad that Dawn likes the best for
yes,
the last,
here we go.
Which is Natrium, natrium.com. It's Natreum. I'm using their products all the time. It's kind of whatever you want. You want to have fun? They have gummies, candies, drinks for that. You want to settle down your stomach? They have oils for that. You have sore joints. They have balms and stuff you can rub on that smells good, isn't oily, is very comfortable to put on. It's going to make you feel better and make you feel better very quickly. They have sleep aids that I use all the time. My wife and I both use the sleep aids all the time. They have so many different delivery systems. They have different dosages, different ingredients. It's all healthy, but there's a lot of it. So I would recommend going to their shop in St. Louis Park, talk to a sales professional. They're able to guide you to what's going to work best for you, depending on what you want. And then after that, go to natrium.com and order for delivery. It's a great company. I've been using their stuff for a long time now. Highly recommend Natrium and natrium.com.
Nadine, if you don't know, I call that his BFF. And you said off the top, the gym was nicer than people think. And that was even before Natrium. And now, I don't know. People don't give out the secret about Jim Suhan now, though.
I'm not nice. Don't tell me that.
They should use you as a spokesperson. They should do like the Snickers commercial, like Jim before and then Jim after Natrium, and be like, he's like mean Suhan before, and then he's like the guy that you see in the hallways at Williams Arena after.
That's hilarious. See, Jim, it's just added to your beautiful personality.
Okay, let's go on with the show.
He's so uncomfortable
he's
now.
all red. He's all red and embarrassed right now. Nadine, we talked about Ann, and we talked about, Chris Finch just kind of being a mastermind. I just really love the relationship that Finchy has with his players. He doesn't what'd someone say? I wish that guy would wear a suit. Again, in my brain, I thought civilian. And I'm like, no, he's perfect the way he is. Like people, they don't wear suits anymore. Come on. This isn't like the 80s. I adore just how much the team loves him and just their whole relationship.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you just see it. You can't fake something like that. Even all the little ad libs and like, I'm sorry, the way Aunt says Finchy is one of the cutest things I've ever heard in my life. Like It's so endearing. It's so loving. And the thing is, people see such a little tiny bit of Chris Finch, even as media we do. He's always even keel. He's never freaking out, which is exactly what you want as a head coach. I think a lot of fans want someone to go absolutely nuts and be so angry after a game. It's like, you know what? That doesn't do a whole lot. Like moving forward and fixing what went wrong, like that's what gets you to be a winner. It's not just going off on your team, and he will go off if it's needed. Like if these guys are not playing up to their abilities, he will. But I just feel like with the NBA, it's so different. It's like you've got your franchise player. Who are they going to connect with? I mean, you've seen it a couple times this season already when you have, NBA championship coaches getting fired at the end of the year, which is insane. But I think it's all about their relationships with their players, especially that franchise player. And Finchy motivates them. And he's a great coach. Like there's no doubt about that.
What I really love, and I think the article was by Chip Scoggins, I think in the Star Tribune, I believe it was Chip when he kind of gave like the behind the scenes look at Finchy and like where he lives, and he just kind of goes out and has a beer and is approachable. But what I really love is Johnny Tower said, he just called me up one day and said, hey, I would love to go to watch your team play, over at St. Thomas. And he's like, okay. And he said, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll get you a seat right up close. He goes, no. I'll just go get a seat. Like, I don't have to be on the bench or near the bench. And he said, Dawn, he just sat there like, amidst the crowd, couple of rows back. He goes, and they just lost a big game the night before. He thought for sure Chris was not going to show up.
Yep.
I was there, by the way. That day,
were you? You were there?
It was a big game for St. Thomas. I covered it.
Yeah.
And I walk in and I'm sitting up in the press area and I look down and I see Finch walk in and just sit behind that St. Thomas bench. I also saw Tim Connolly walk in.
Yes. And I thought, okay, they're there to scout some of the various players on either team.
Nope. And they were just there to watch basketball and hang out.
And just hang out. That's right. And he said afterwards, they just hung out a couple hours afterwards, had a beer, talked basketball, and they forged this friendship. And the humility, that's all I can think of. The humility and the normalness of this whole interaction and supporting another coach. And it must be very hard in that world to find, they look at us like civilians, right? It must be hard in their insular, positions to be able to have friendships in terms of, let's just go have a beer, talk basketball, and like, you get what I'm doing, and I enjoy seeing that sneak peek. Don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And, to your point, Dawn, I remember it was Jim Molinari, one of your BC basketball coaches now, that actually said to me, I remember when I was in the barnyard, he said, coaching is a really lonely position because there aren't that many people at your level, and a lot of them are colleagues, and you kind of have to separate a little bit, because you're together so much. And there are a lot of people that are just trying to get something from you, or, look at you in kind of like a hero's eyes when you're just a regular person, so it's really a lonely position, especially if you don't have a great support system. And to see that Finchy came out for that, I know he was at least one Gopher football game this year too. And he doesn't want attention. He doesn't want to be showered. He does, like, by the way, I do. Like when I go to a St. Thomas game, like when Johnny Tower and Ben Frazier, like, you want VIP room, you want tickets. I'm yes, and yes. So just putting that on the record for anyone that would like me there. I like special treatment, but that's because I'm not a celebrity like they are,
God, I love you. I really do. I can't get enough. You just say it like it is. And now it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? Of course, it's not just Chris Finch. It's not just Ant. Who would you say? I mean, some people say Jaden, McDaniels, and I love Ant saying, 2 words, not in this victory, the victory beforehand. Someone said, how'd they close it out? He goes, 2 words, Jaden McDaniels. Like, just like he was when Kat was here. He just gives each other their honor, their due. But who do you think on this team stands out for you personally as, and I don't even want to say an X factor, because as Chris Finch said a couple of weeks ago, I feel like I have 7 or 8 guys that could be my starters. Like I have such a deep team. Who do you think is one of those players that may not get as much attention, obviously, as Ant, but makes this team go?
You know what? I don't know. I would actually like to run down a couple if that's okay. Because
it's true. I could name like 5 of them for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I think it starts at the top with Mike Conley. I just think that he just changed this team. I mean, it was like we got a better Pat Bev when Pat Bev left, and someone who just has this incredible maturity, knows how to coach these guys, just brings his veteran mindset in, and is just, I mean, obviously we know what a good guy he is. So I think that him mentoring somebody like Ant is fantastic. Someone who I don't think is getting a lot of the credit. I mean, obviously he's playing well, but I don't think a lot of our fans love him as much as Julius. And
yes.
And time again, Finchie's been like, because he was known as more of a diva in New York, and he wanted to be the star, and here he wasn't going to be. But like Finchie said, he's done every single thing that we've asked of him, So which means that he's more about winning and advancing than his own personal accolades. And guess what? Along the way, his personal accolades have been building up,
Absolutely.
You got Rudy, who this last stretch of the season has played phenomenally. He's not super vocal or anything, but I think he's another one too, where he is a big name defensive player of the year. And he's just like, okay, whatever you need. Then you've got Dante DiVincenzo, who I absolutely love. I think it was a great addition. Even last night, I posted the clip on my Twitter too, but Ant actually said that Dante helps him. Like when he doesn't understand a defense, Dante is so smart and his basketball IQ is so high. He just reads it right away. He'll tell Ant, and he'll tell the other guys on the team. So that is absolutely invaluable. And then you've got, guys like Nikhil, who are such smart players and just, and they can come off the bench and add that spark. And obviously, Jaden, who, like Ant said, he even, I had to ask him about it last night because he normally just brings up Jaden randomly. Like you can be asking him about the sky being blue. And he's like, oh man, I got to talk about Jaden McDaniel. Jaden's my boy. Jaden's my favorite player in the NBA. And it's like, you look at this and it's like, who else has a franchise player that A, is not threatened by the up and coming guys, and B, is their biggest cheerleader, their biggest hype man, So it's like, I just feel like he is giving them all that confidence.
Yeah. And Naz Reid, you brought up Na and all these other guys. And Naz Reid, when he first came in his rookie year, we were joking around. I said, everyone teases some baseball players about their birth certificates. Like he goes, I came out of the womb looking like I'm 40. Like I did. Like I always looked old. I know. And so he was really funny about it. But what I love is he followed up this year with even more. He just keeps getting better and better. And when you see him starting to smile on the court, because usually he's serious. When he starts smiling, that's it. That's the dagger for the other team. Nas is smiling. It's hilarious.
Yes, completely. I don't think I've seen as many teeth of his in anything besides this series. And last night he even said too, because he came on and he's the one that really was clutch for us. And Finchie made the joke, Nas coming out in, the fourth quarter, but feel free to do that in the beginning 3 quarters too, And Naz Reid was like, you know what? It can be a Naz Reid night every night. It's not necessarily shooting. It can be, the defense. It can be assists. It can be whatever. So even if his shot is not falling, he is contributing and he's a great teammate.
The best thing was, so my brothers, I have 4 brothers, and my older brother, Doug, texts, and this is the brother that is in my phone he'll kill me that I share this, but he's listed as Doug Bro Cro-Magnon because he didn't want a cell phone for years. And then, he works drywall and construction. And when he finally had to get a cell phone, he took some other guys the other guy upgraded. And my brother just took his, like, I don't know, it was like one of those sidekick things or something. Like it might've been a flip phone that still had the guy's old voicemail on it. Yeah. Like I'd call in and be like, yeah, this is Jimmy Joe or something like that. I'm like, Who is this? Oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, I don't care about changing the message. So anyway, that's my brother who randomly texts. And when he does, it's like this golden egg, right? And of course, during this basketball series, it has been like, I love the Timberwolves, or he'll just say Ant and an exclamation point. Cause now he has an iPhone. Like the world is moving. Like there is a shift going on. So he will send me these texts and then he goes, yeah. And how about that Nick guy? I go, the Nick guy? I go,
Nah.
I go, are you talking about Nah or Julius Randle? I haven't heard anything. So I'm assuming he was talking about both. But I'm like, when Boston comes in and they're so excited that, the Timberwolves are beating the Lakers, like I said, this is further confirmation that, oh my God, the country just loves this team. Now, I'm not saying if the Celtics and the Timberwolves had to, what my brother, what he'll be texting me, but I'll keep you posted. But unbelievable that it just seems like the groundswell is coming up and people are just supporting this team because they're so fun.
They are. And you look at it. So, I mean, I personally have a lot of respect for LeBron. I mean, the way he has done this at 40 years old, the way he takes care of his body, the things he does for the community, all those things, everything he does, I have a lot of respect for him, but he's not the most liked player. I mean, he complains a lot. He's always searching for calls. Like Luka obviously is always whining. You've got other players in the NBA that are dirty. You've got other players that are whiny. And I'm like, we don't have players like that. We really have players that aren't soft. They, I mean, when Ant chirps, it's like the guys are laughing, it's not like necessarily like a dirty type thing, like I feel like this is a team to latch onto, even if you're not a big NBA or basketball fan, because the guys are very likable.
Oh, absolutely. I was out with friends after the Frost game yesterday. I had friends come in town. They had a daughter on the New York Sirens. And so we're out at a restaurant and we see Ant doing the post-game interview with the towel on his head and the whole thing. I go, oh my God, I just so wish the sound was up. And they're even like, I know, he's a classic soundbite. We love this kid. Even people from Detroit are like, we love this kid. I'm like, Ant, never change. Please never, ever, ever, ever change. Whether like you're chirping someone funny on the court or whether you're getting fined because you're defending Rudy or,
Yes.
just don't get it technical. Just don't get it technical, but stay the way you are. I mean, his personality is and the way his look, like sometimes the way he'll just smile into the camera, like he's up to something. Yeah. Like, I just think the whole team kind of follows suit after that personality. Don't you agree?
Oh, without a doubt. And yes, I'm so glad he either didn't get media training or he didn't listen because
it could be either one.
Ant. Yes.
I have a feeling it's the latter.
Right? Oh, it was funny because when we had game 6 against the Nuggets last year, he was in the press conference room and he had it was this huge win. And after game 5, he had told the locker room attendants in Denver, like, we're going to be back. But he used like an MFer and he's like, and all the words and everything. And he repeats all that. And you just see one of our PR guys like be like, thanks, Ant. Thanks.
It kind of reminds me years ago, Michael Kadire, I think we had a microphone on him in the outfield and he's going over to people and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. You're mic'd up. He goes, no, just swear all the time. And they're like, what? He goes, yeah, just swear. Because I know Dawn's listening, so she can't use it if you swear. So just like every other word, like throw a swear in there because you can't edit that out. And now I'm going through the tape later, like laughing, right? Because that's true. Just be yourself. Like we can't put that on air. So you are fine. It will be edited out.
Oh my gosh. That's a great strategy. He beat you on that one.
That's right. Ant is like, and I don't care. I'm just gonna be me. Oh, well,
Yeah.
Nadine, I could talk to you literally for hours and hours. So maybe, if they move on, we'll say when they move on to the next
Yeah.
round, and something outrageous happens too. If you're back from all your travels, by the way, we'll have you on again. Where are you heading to now?
Tomorrow I am going to Belize.
Woo! How did that come up? Is that on your list you've always wanted to go to?
It has been on my list, and one of my friends is just absolutely burnt out. And by the way, I am this person that you can text and be like, I'm burnt out. You want to go on a vacation? And I'm like, okay, yep, sounds great. Like, let's do it. And so this is what I need the Timberwolves to do, because I would be missing game 6 if it goes to that. So we just need them to win in 5, because I'm going to have way too much FOMO, even being in Belize, but not being at the Target Center. And then we just start fresh on the second round, and then I'll be able to go to all the games.
Well, then there it is. They'll just have to
Yes.
do that, just one
Yeah,
more. Let's
I
just do
know.
it.
If I'm sure Finchie's listening, like, you know what, just do this because Nadine would really miss game 6, so
There-
do it for her.
All right. It has been written. It has been done. That's all we need to do is put the nail in the coffin. Nadine Babu, if you guys I'm sure you love her listening on this. If you want to follow her on social media, where can they find you, Nadine?
I am on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I am Nadine Babu. If you want to link into me, I am there. I usually don't accept randoms on Facebook. So, but also who's on Facebook?
Right?
Just
Like,
old
let's be
people,
honest,
Yeah. So
Keeping up with your high school friends.
Yeah, exactly. And their multi-level marketing schemes. That's real exciting. But yeah, so for sure, give you a follow, give anything a like. As you know, we always raise money for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Always love likes on those posts. That's great. Just because people usually skip over. I feel like a lot of times with charity stuff, they're like, oh, I'm not going to like it because I can't give or don't want to or whatever. It's like, no, just giving it a like or a comment, that always helps. So just knowing that, like, supporting each other doesn't have to be a huge ordeal. It can literally just be scrolling through and like, hey, like, good job, know what you're doing. Here's a like,
And thank you for all of the work that you do. You're a former LLS Woman of the Year. I know they have a different term for it now, but you have been tireless in your pursuit of supporting LLS and raising money and awareness and making friends too in that community. So you're not just like, oh, I'm just going to be a spokesperson. You are all in, and that is so admirable. As your friend, it's always been one thing I'm in awe of, and I want to thank you for that. For I know people that have battled blood cancers, and they're older, and also they're young kids. So thank you so much, Nadine.
Oh, I appreciate your kind words, and thank you for always supporting. Like, that's all you hope for from your friends, is just to even if it's not necessarily someone else's cause, but to still support. And my mission is all about just getting the word out and telling people about it. And it's such a fine line. Even last night, sorry, Jim, if you're so bored and it's getting too long, but last night I posted about the Bond Between. They have a whole program for fostering dogs, and it's actually for domestic violence survivors that are usually choosing between, like, say, living in their car with their dog and then going to a shelter. So they keep that dog safe for you while you can get back up on your feet. And I'm posting it, and I'm like, I never want the accolades of, oh my gosh, good job, thank you for fostering, whatever. Like, I really just want to raise awareness, because, like, just hearing your reaction saying, oh, like, I don't think people know. Right. They don't know about these options. And also the fact that a lot of times it's like they just need someone quick and, right away for 72 hours. So you're not talking about like a 3-month commitment. So I think it's just good to know that people can do whatever they can that matches their schedule, and everyone has their own things going on in life. But I will tell you, anytime things get bad or gloomy, like, my toxic trait is just throwing myself more into charity, because you're like, wow, my life is really great. Like, I'm not dealing between my best friend, like living with my best friend and living in a car, and I don't have cancer. And, like, things like that are just always a great reality check.
Well, Nadine, thank you for your big heart in terms of everything else, and your fun personality, and I don't know where. I've always said this to you. I don't know where you find the energy. You're always at every sporting event, charity event, hosting people at your house. So if we could clone you, I would do that. If that were legal, I would do that. I'd call them Nadine 1. Well, you're Nadine 1. Nadine 2, 2.5. I'd keep going, kind of like an iPhone. I would just like keep on doing it. So
Oh my
not
gosh,
new and
you're
improved, just the same as the awesome you.
You're too sweet. I'm sure. I'm sure Bob from Coon Rapids would not enjoy that. There are a lot of those guys that would not like more of me.
That's all right. Civilians. That's what I call them. Civilians.
Yes.
Oh. Nadine, thank you. Thank you so much. If you guys are listening, check her out. Gopherhole.com. And it's not only Nadine, she's got other people that are on there, but also Nadine on her socials. And if you see her out there, just give her a wave because she'll be there. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you so much for having me.